Hi, welcome to the Brain Garden. My name is Tiffany and I'm the owner of Nostalgia Media, and we help businesses take all their scattered ideas, turn them into a cohesive plan to show up with confidence and clarity. No chaos. No chaos around here. We want to build confidence, consistency, and clarity around our marketing. And so today, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I do that. I and my husband own Nostalgia Media. He is not involved with the social media side of things. He didn't want any part of it when I started doing it. I know social media is not everybody's thing. And so I said, okay, so I've kind of built the social side and do all of that. But I have alone, just me, about 10 plus clients that I schedule all their content a month ahead and send it to them for review, schedule it out. Basically, I manage and create all their content for social media. And so if I can do it for 10 people, you can do it for yourself. So I'm gonna take you through my frenzy to feed framework. So let's start. Step one that I need you to do when it comes to planning out your content is look at the year, and for each month, I want you to lay out a theme that you want to cover that month. That could be if you're a product-based business and you do Black Friday and holidays, you could base it around the holidays that are, around the calendar. You could do seasonal, you could do based on your services, your brand values, anything like that. You want to pick a topic. You could do the national month. So like, let's say you are a counselor and you want to do National, Mental Health Awareness Month. You could put that as your theme. But anyways, go through all of your months and give each month a theme, just an overarching theme that you want your content to kind of align with. All right, and you don't have to plan out your whole year at one time when it comes to like the weekly content, but if you kind of have an overview of your months, then it just helps you be a little bit more strategic in the content that you're doing every month. So what I would suggest is the month before, whatever month you're in right now, you should be planning the month ahead. And break the month down into weeks, week 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sometimes there'll be a week 5. You can do a little bonus week in there if you want. And you will decide on your long form content topics. That could be a blog, an email newsletter, YouTube. That's when I'm doing these videos. And if you don't have a long form content platform, I highly suggest you get one. It's really just to help you build authority and show up consistently in your marketing, and people can find your content, years from now. They can go back and still see the videos that you posted or the blogs that you've written, and it just gives you space that you own. Not necessarily YouTube, but like if you have a website or newsletter, that is a great place to have long form content. So with that, let's say you are a counselor, going to go back to counseling. So like, let's say week 1, you're doing mental health awareness for the month, and then you do week 1, you talk about an educational something. So why is it important to see a counselor? You're educating people on why that's important. Then you can do week 2, if a client says, okay, you could tell a story about a client that benefited from counseling. Week 3, you could give tips on how to stay mindful throughout the week, maybe a morning routine or something like that. And then week 4, you could just highlight one of your services. Do you have group sessions available, individuals? Do you take insurance? Just kind of highlight what you offer. And so then you lay out those 4 main topics that you're going to either write a blog about, do a video about, put in an email. Step 3 is you're going to take each one of those topics, tips on being mindful in the mornings, or maybe that's your blog post. So then you take that blog and you would take bits out of the blog and create posts from it. So you've already written the information. You can actually just like kind of use those as captions, tweak it a little bit for each platform, and use the information you've already written so that you can post quicker and more efficiently. And so maybe, you sit outside for 15 minutes and that's a post. And then you journal for 5 minutes, that's its own post. And then you drink a tea or a coffee in the morning, that can be a post. And so you have now 3 different posts from the one blog of that week. Go through and plan out each post for each week. You know, people always ask, how many times should you post? Commit to what you can commit to. I can only commit to probably like 2 or 3 a week. I have a small child that I just had. And so I can't commit to more than like 2 to 3 times a week. And so if you can post every day, do it. If not, it's okay. Choose a consistent posting pattern that you can commit to. And so in step 4 is really you're just typing it all out. Now you've planned it. I recommend planning it out in a Google Doc. That's what I use for my clients. It's easy for them to give me feedback and edit within the document. If you don't like Google Docs, that's fine too. Use whatever, but you want to plan out in the document or in the task management system, whatever you use. And then now step 4 is to write it all out. Write captions, give you visual prompts of what you need to do. Set aside time to make those visuals, whether you have to record a reel, do some graphics, take some pictures, something. Make sure you set some time aside to do that. And so what I recommend is book time in your calendar with yourself to create content. And that's literally what I did today. I created these videos. I booked a shoot with myself. I literally booked a location so that I paid for it, so I'm going to use it. But make sure that you set aside time to record and make the content. Put it in your calendar, make an appointment with yourself. Treat yourself as your own client. All right, and then organization is key. So if you're willing to use Google Drive, that's what I use. So I have a folder for each client, but you are your own client. So you'll just have a folder and you'll do, you know, the year, and then you'll break it up by month. And then within the month, you'll have your document and all your visuals. And then in the document, you link all your visuals to the document. So it's easy when you go to schedule them to just copy the caption, press the link, download it, schedule it. If you would like access to one of my Google Drive templates, I will put a link in the description. So check that out. All right, and then the 5th step is going to be to schedule it out. So I aim to schedule everybody's out a month in advance. I recommend that for you too. It will save you a headache, but if you can, maybe a week in advance is good. That way you're just not scrambling and it doesn't feel chaotic. All right, so that is my Frenzy to Feed framework. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I will comment back to you, or you can send me an email. I will email back to you. But let's go over that again. So step 1 is to do your monthly topic. Step 2 is to break it out by weeks and do a weekly long form topic. Then once you write those long form topics, take your information and break it up into multiple social media posts, create the content, write it out, and then schedule it for step 5. So you have 5 steps to this framework, and it will help you plan your content and not feel chaotic, not be posting day of, trying to scramble and get some content together to post. This is to create a little less chaos in your life. So I hope that this is helpful to you. If it is, let me know. Please like this video, subscribe to the page, and I look forward to talking to you soon.